What is going on, YouTube? Tom here. God, it seriously feels like forever since I've actually heard that cold start, because that's the first one I've had on video since I got the car back. And actually, realistically, since I got it back, the first cold start I've heard, period, because I got it back, and then that night I took it to a car meet, and then it's been sitting for a couple days. But yes, it is back, and we're back to doing this form of driving vlog. And believe me, I miss doing this, because this is actually a lot of fun for me. Get to hear the sounds of the car. Today's video, I wanted to talk about another Mustang that's going to be hitting the market soon. A lot of people have been hearing rumors about it, and it's finally confirmed and true, and that is Ford is going to be doing a new version of the Ecoboost. It's going to be called the High Performance Package, and I'm actually a little bit excited and a little bit disappointed about this. So, not that long ago, we saw some rumors come out about a new Ecoboost, sort of as a mid-level between the base Ecoboost and the GT. Kind of like how Chevy has the 2.3, or actually not 2.3, theirs is a 2-liter turbo, then you have the V6, and then you have the SS Camaro. So you kind of got 3 tiers of Camaro. Now, I'm excited for this because there's a lot of parts that car is going to get, so it makes the Ecoboost a lot more relevant, but I'm disappointed because it's still the 2.3. So first, here's what we know about it. It is going to be an upgraded version of the Ecoboost. The 2.3 is actually not the same as the 2.3 in the base model. A lot of people know we have the Focus RS that is dearly departed now. So it has a beefier cylinder head from that Focus RS that we no longer get. And it's going to be getting a bigger turbo, in this case a 62mm turbo, which is 5% bigger than the current base model Ecoboost. So the result is it's going to be getting 330 horsepower, and it's going to be getting the same 350 pound-feet of torque, but it's going to be over a wider RPM band. So basically, yes, it's the same torque, but it's effectively making more over that area. So I know some people might say, well, the number's the same, but yes, it is making more. I mean, if you're making torque over a larger RPM band, that means that launch, it's not only going to be violent, you're going to get that violent launch over that bigger band. It's going to spin the tires even longer. And of course, it's going to be getting a lot of components off of the current Ecoboost Performance Pack, and even some off of the GT Performance Pack. So it's going to be getting the front lip off of the GT Performance Pack Level 1, which is what I have on my car, and it's going to be getting a base GT's rear spoiler, which I think is a little bit disappointing because it's not going to be getting like the Ecoboost Performance Pack spoiler, which is the same thing as the GT Performance Pack spoiler. I'm actually kind of disappointed with that. A lot of people do like that spoiler. I remember when it came out, nobody liked it. Now, everybody loves it. Got it on my car and absolutely am in love with it. And then I'm seeing it on a lot of non-performance pack cars. But it is going to be getting the 4-piston Brembos off of a regular GT, the base GT. So we'll be able to stop better than a regular Ecoboost. I'm a little bit disappointed because we saw that test mule a while ago that a lot of people speculated was the improved Ecoboost, and that test mule had Brembos. I, for one, was excited because I thought, wow, Ecoboost is finally going to get the Brembo brakes. It's going to be getting 255 wide tires all around, kind of like what a current Ecoboost Performance Pack gets, and actually, I believe that's what a GT Black Accent package gets. The wheels are supposed to be unique to this car. They look a lot like GT Performance Pack Level 2 wheels. Not exact, but they're pretty close. So it's possible that they did kind of want to channel that design in, kind of almost market this as an Ecoboost Performance Pack Level 2. That's what a lot of people thought this was going to be. And of course, it's going to get on the fenders, it's going to get the 2.3 high performance badges. So for once, it's actually the Ecoboost from the factory letting everybody know what it is. Because currently, Ecoboost, the biggest way to tell is they have nothing on the fender, and then 5.0s, of course, we all know, have 5.0 in the fender. So I think it's an interesting move, like finally Ford actually doing that factory. And then of course it's going to get things like a unique stripe, it's going to get a different grille. So subtle upgrades, so you'll be able to tell what it is when you look at it. And then they're actually saying that 0 to 60 on that car is rumored to be 4.5 seconds when you get the 10R80 in it, or 10 speed. I guess it's still the 10R80, someone can correct me on if I'm wrong on that. So basically that's GT levels of performance. That actually really is almost what a GT puts out, because actually that's what my car right here, my 2018 Performance Pack Level 1 with the 6-speed manual, that's actually what it's rated for. Now, as we all know, Ford, or at least I think I know this, I don't know, some people might be able to prove me wrong, but I think Ford, they overrate their 0 to 60 times pretty heavily, because best I've been able to achieve is 5 flat, so it'd be interesting to see if that Ecoboost can attain that actual 4.5 second 0 to 60 time. But of course, I'm going to talk about a little bit of why I'm disappointed with this, because I know some people are going to debate me on it and why it's actually good. Now, for one, we don't know the price yet. It's allegedly going to be Ecoboost money. Some people said it's actually going to replace the performance pack that currently exists, which I doubt. But if the problem is if it doesn't, then kind of to justify it being more expensive, I think you're going to be looking at almost GT money for a car that, truth be told, is almost a GT. It's GT levels of performance almost. You got a lot of GT parts. Effectively, it's a 4-cylinder GT if you ask me. But your Ecoboost can't do that. And then, of course, it's also going to get the active exhaust. I guess I forgot to mention that. Speaking of my car's active exhaust. So, again, that's something else off of the GT. Kind of going off of the almost a GT theory. Of course, it sounds really good on this car because I've modified the exhaust a little bit. I've got a resonator delete. So, I'm curious to hear how it sounds with that active exhaust on an Ecoboost. Just because, if you ask me, the active exhaust on a GT, I don't think it sounds very good stock. I think it actually sounded a little off. A couple people said my car actually sounded like a V6 when I first got it. Of course, now it sounds nothing like a V6. Yes, it is going to get it, and I don't know how it's going to sound, and to me that's already kind of a disappointment just because will it sound good? And realistically my hopes aren't very high on the sound just because mine sounded off when I got it, but that leaves as yet to be seen. So another big disappointment, as I mentioned, it's not going to be getting the Brembos. And if you ask me, it would be a lot cooler if it had Brembos on it. Because that's what I have on this car, my PP1 over here, GT PP1, and they stop very well. And in fact, there have even been times in traffic where I'm driving and I'm like, I'm actually glad I have the Brembos. Because they stop so much better. If you get out onto a track, it's going to help a lot. And that's just what I don't get, is like, if this car really is supposed to be much more high performance, why not just go ahead and put the Brembos on it? Because it looks like by the wheel design, it looks like they're gonna fit. It wouldn't cost that much more to do it. And if anything, I think there's people willing to pay base model GT money, or even, pretty GT premium money for an Ecoboost that can legitimately outstop a GT. I think there's an honest market for that. I think Ford should reconsider that. Make it with it, because you'll be able to get the handling package, so it'll be able to probably, in a good amount of tracks, it'll probably be able to out-handle a GT. But, of course, Ford's got their marketing team. They probably don't want to put Brembos, because obviously then who would actually buy this car, the PP1? Nobody would buy it if they put Brembos on an Ecoboost. And of course, disappointment number 2 is, and I'm going to sound like a typical Coyote owner at this point, but 330 horsepower, that's it. To be honest, there's a lot more potential I think Ford could have done with that, because, you know, even the Focus RS that motor is derived from makes 350, and realistically, not much to that motor. It can make 400. So, to me, they're cutting everybody short with the 330. And I get it, they probably don't want to put too much horsepower, just because then it would be too close to a Coyote, and then it would probably have some competition. There's people who would cross-shop it at that point. But as we know, the Coyote really makes closer to 500, debatably. I know, my dyno video, people still debating that, but yes, it probably made almost 500. So in that case, why not go ahead and just do a 400 horsepower Ecoboost? It would sell like hotcakes, in my opinion. There's plenty of, again, Ecoboost guys who would want a 400 horsepower car, because that actually really would be, with a tune only, it would compete with a Coyote. Maybe the exact reason I just listed is why Ford won't do it, but correct me if I'm wrong. If you're an Ecoboost owner, would you not buy that? And of course, another option, in my opinion, and this is, I think Ford should seriously consider this at some point. There's people who have been asking for this for a while now, basically since the Ecoboost came out for the S550, and that is, why not go ahead and do a V6 Ecoboost? And if anything, if you ask me, Ford has the perfect platform to use now with the 3-liter V6 Ecoboost that's currently found in the Explorer ST. It's right at 400 horsepower. Being a V6, it would be great, because there have been people that have been begging for a V6 Mustang to come back. So that would be great. Bring back the V6, 400 horsepower from the so-called base model motor. On top of that, not being a V8, there are markets where insurance would go significantly down because of that. So right there, you got all the advantages. You don't even have to call it Mustang Ecoboost. Call it Mustang RS or whatever that people want. LX. You know, there's different name options that are out there for that car. And I think Ford would really have a better luck selling that than the current Ecoboost high performance package, because I think for as many people as that are going to be lining up to get it, they're going to want this. There's going to be just as many people who are like me who are going to be disappointed that, you know, only 330 and it's still the 2.3 Ecoboost, which, to the best of my knowledge, is still a motor that still can't handle as much power when modded. So I don't know. I think it's yet to be seen what's going to happen with this. I'm curious to see one in person when they come out. I'd love to drive one, but Mustang test drives are a little bit difficult at dealerships unless you're serious about buying, and I think I bought my last brand new Mustang. I hate to say this, but after my transmission issue, I don't think I would buy another one, and definitely would not buy an Ecoboost with all of the Ecoboom issues that have been going on. But this is interesting to see, because I think this is finally Ford saying, let's make a better Ecoboost. Let me know in the comments section below what you all think about that. What do you think about this 2.3 high output Ecoboost? Do you think this is a motor that's definitely going to be worth buying as a future platform, or do you think that Ford should just go ahead and do the V6 Ecoboost? Anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. If you are stopping in for the first time, go ahead and subscribe.